Lessons learned from people who hate retirement. There's a lot of them out there, guys. There's a lot of them out there. I'm sure you've heard of some, right? Here are 8 lessons learned from people that hate retirement, and I got these all from Bottom Line Inc. Number 1, these are the mistakes they've made. Number 1, being afraid to spend the kids' retirement money. What is that? That's inheritance money. You want to leave money to your children. Great. But don't let that stop you from doing things you want to do. You know? What if you want to go to Alaska? Take a trip to Alaska. Oh, but we can't spend that. That's the kids' retirement money. You're only 67 years old. Live a little bit. So what do you tell the kids? You know what? You don't give them a set amount. You don't give them a set amount and you're going to leave. Oh, we're going to leave you $700,000. No. They will have what's left when you're gone. A lot of people hate retirement because they're afraid to spend their kids' inheritance. Now, that's great. I get it. You want to leave money to your children. I get it. Great. But live a little, guys. Enjoy life. It's your retirement. There's only one of those. Enjoy it. Number 2, they relocate blindly to another state, country, without investigating it first. There's a lot of horror stories you hear out there about people 6 months into retirement after they've downsized and moved from LA to Tucson, Arizona. Oh my God, there's nothing to do here. I hate it. Well, you know what? You didn't do your research. If you want to relocate in retirement, downsize, whatever, why don't you do like a little trial run? Go to this place you're going to relocate to for a month or so, maybe even longer. See if you like it. You might not even like it. A lot of people relocate blindly. 6 months into it, they hate retirement. Oh my God, why'd I retire? I can't stand this place. You should have scouted it out, guys. You should have scouted it out. Hey, for those of you seeing me for the first time, my name is Duane. And this is a channel for people on moderate retirement income. If you think you might like that, think about subscribing and like the video as well. Number 3, people think they're going to travel all over the place in retirement. Ooh, I'm retiring, man. I'm going to travel every week. 6 months into it, after traveling, let's say for a month and a half, driving your RV around the United States, you figure out you don't actually like traveling. You might not have known during your working years. Did you ever have more than a couple weeks to go on a big vacation? Now you got all the time in the world. You might not like traveling as much as you thought you would. This happens a lot. Yeah, enjoy travel, but don't think you're going to do it 24/7. You know, a lot of people just don't like it. And you know what? My right hand right now is falling asleep. Excuse me. I'm going to my left. Maybe a little shaky. Hopefully it's not as shaky now. So yeah, travel. Plan these big trips if you want. You know, maybe not too many because you're on moderate income. But you just might not like traveling as much as you thought you did. A lot of people become disillusioned by that. It wrecks their retirement. You got to think these things out, guys, before you start. Do you really want to travel around in an RV to all the national parks for 3 months? You might not. Number 4, you are over-relying on your children for your emotional happiness. What do I mean by that? Well, here's what I mean. A lot of people go into retirement and say, I'm going to spend all my time with my kids and my grandkids. Great. You know what? Your kids, maybe even your grandkids, are working. They might not have time for you. Nearly as much time as you want. People get disillusioned by that. They end up hating retirement because instead of, even if you live a couple miles away from him, instead of spending, every other day with my kids and grandkids, it turns into every other week. That causes a lot of people to hate retirement. Talk it out with your kids, your grandkids, you know? Are you really going to have as much time as I think you'll have with me? In a lot of cases, you won't. Guys, you won't. So don't just rely on your kids for your emotional health. There's so many things to do in retirement. You can do them. The next one, I think it's number 5. I don't know, I'm getting dizzy with all this. Woo! They overburden their spouse. Think about it. You're working. Your spouse, him or her, are not with you when you're working in a lot of cases, right? They might enjoy their alone time. You're home now 24/7. Honey, what are we doing today? Think of something. Come on. Then you get mad because you expect them to think of something for you to do. You got to have friends, your own things you do on your own time in retirement. Don't just throw it all on your spouse. Hey, honey, we're doing this. Think of something. Really? That is a recipe for unhappiness. Do your own stuff. Have your friends. I'm sure your wife or husband doesn't want to be with you 24/7 anyway. You smell. Take a shower. Number, 6, 7? I don't know. Some people, when they retire, they embrace inactivity. What do I mean by that? Here's what I mean. I get it. First couple months of retirement, you sit around all day watching reruns of the Partridge Family. Great. But after a couple months, and you know what? I almost stepped in a big gopher hole. That would have been tragic, but it would have got a lot of views. After a while, you get tired of that, right? These people did not have any idea what they're going to do when they retire. They have no hobbies. They have no nothing. So if you're embracing the lazy slug mode, yeah, you're going to be unhappy and maybe even hate retirement because you think there's nothing to do. That's because you didn't figure out what you're going to do beforehand. As I say in probably all my videos, right, guys? Planning. You got to plan for all these things. What are my hobbies? Can I expand some of those hobbies into things maybe I can get money for by working on them? Woodworking, whatever. Believe me, unless maybe you're disabled or in bad health in general, you're not going to enjoy spending 12 hours in front of a TV. But what happens is a lot of people get sucked into this. And after like 6 months, 8 months of doing this, maybe even less, they hate retirement. There's nothing to do. Well, you know why? Because you didn't figure out something to do when you were working about what you're going to do in retirement. Here's the next one. Some people go into retirement thinking they're going to change the world. I'm going to reinvent myself. Every day is going to be, I'm going to be bounding with joy across the sagebrush you see behind me. It's not like that, guys. Sure, you can have great goals and stuff. Just take every day as it comes. There may be like a random Tuesday where you just don't feel like doing anything. And if you have all this big, huge purpose for retirement before you retire, you'll be disappointed. You might even hate it. It's like, oh, I thought I was going to do all these grand things. It's not like that, guys. Every day comes as it comes, right? Don't overburden your expectations by thinking you're going to just go, I'm going to save an animal at the shelter every week. What happens if you don't? You're going to be disappointed. Take retirement as it comes. Every day is not Shangri-La. You know, some days are just Dinty Moore beef stew. And number 8, I believe it is. Some people go into retirement relying on spending time with friends. I'm going to go into retirement and spend all my time with my good friends from work, everywhere. In a lot of cases, and it's amazing that people don't think about this, your friends are still working. So what are you going to do when they all are working and can't spend as much time as you want with them? Yeah, people get disillusioned. They might hate retirement. There's nothing to do. I can't spend time with anyone. Well, did you think before you retired at 55 that most of your friends might still be working? It's amazing, guys, but some people don't think about that. They just don't think about it. They just figure, oh yeah, I'll be available, so they'll be available. Doesn't work like that. And also, as I've said before about work friends, a lot of those aren't going to be there for you when you leave the workforce. I know firsthand. I sent out my retirement email expecting all these, hey, congratulations, crickets. I sent it out to about 50 people. I may have gotten 7 or 8 responses, and maybe 3 or 4 of those were like really positive. Don't rely on your work friends, guys. They might not be there when you leave the workforce. So there you go. There are some reasons people just cannot stand. They hate retirement. Don't fall into the trap, guys. Just think it through. And as always, from the beautiful high desert, as you can see those little wildflowers way in the background, we got this.